Hello Internet, it's Calvin from the Fishing Style here and Ronnie on camera, and today is going to be a kind of test video of trying to see if this rod and reel setup will work. Now this setup is actually my great-grandfather's, so my dad's granddad, and it's about 70 or 80 years old, so I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't really work well, but it wasn't used a lot, it was only used a little bit, but considering how old it is, it might or it might not work. It's a very... Ronnie, what type of reel is this called?
It's called a sidecast.
Sidecast. It's like a really old... Back in the day when, like 70 or 80 years ago, this was like prime technology for fishing. So, this is currently for reeling in right now, and you push it and go like that to cast. Anyway, let's get into the video, and we're going to do a series of tests to see if this will still work.
So guys, I'm just going to give you some information about this rod and reel setup. So the reel is by Alvey. So Charles Alvey is a well-known reel manufacturer in Australia. I don't know when he started making, but this was one of the earlier models of the reel. So you can tell it's Alvey right here. It says Alvey. It's really faint at the moment, but yeah, it's right there. Just this little Alvey. And another thing is, if you look on the inside of the reel, it's probably a bit hard to tell. Let's get rid of this dust. It says Charles Alvey and Sons here, and I'm just going to wind it backwards. And if you look right here as well, it also says Brisbane, because that's where these reels were actually made. I'm pretty sure they're still made in Brisbane. I'm not 100% sure about that, but pretty sure that's where they're made. So the reel is actually made out of, well, it's actually a wooden spool, and the backing plate is, I'm pretty sure, stainless steel. I'm not 100% sure about that. It has corroded a tiny little bit. Nothing to be worried about, and obviously wood being wood, it cannot corrode, which is a massive bonus. So the rod actually is an old Snyder Glas rod, I think. Like the marking on that is gone, but it's one of the I think it's an old Snyder Glas rod, and this is a solid glass rod. So solid glass is in solid fiberglass, and it's got ceramic guides. It's pretty much what rods those days, like these guides are top of the range guides, considering like back in those days these guides would have been pretty, expensive. Like these are like top of the range guides, and like you don't really see the wooden handle these days too much as well. It's quite, yeah, like I've never seen a wooden handle on the newer reels. And obviously you can notice the cork is quite degraded, as with all cork. Cork being a natural product, water gets into it and degrades. And I'm not sure about the rubber cap. I usually haven't seen these. I think this is just to stop your groin from getting hurt when you're, fighting a fish. But yeah, we're gonna do a series of tests with it, and we're actually gonna go shark fishing with it. Hopefully, we catch a shark. So I'm actually just testing at the moment because I don't usually use these side cast reels, and it's really awkward for me because I personally prefer left-hand wind. So one of the biggest things about this reel, you could get the casting distance was actually pretty good, but okay, first of all, I just got scraped by the line. Second thing, I cast it over like a clothes dry thing, like a clothes rack, over an air conditioning unit, into some grass. I think you can see where that light is. The casting accuracy on this isn't amazing. It's gonna, yeah. Let's do that again. Yeah. Alright, so I don't know if you can tell, but the casting on this reel, without practice, is pretty hard. I think it's like these days we use these modern spin reels, which has just revolutionised fishing. Like back in the day, even bait cast reels didn't have like didn't have the thumb bars, so there wasn't really a free spool. It's like, so when a fish takes line, the handle actually spun backwards. Noises. So like when the fish takes line, the handle spins backwards on these reels and old bait cast reels. So when you cast as well, the handle spins backwards. That would have just been so awkward, and there would have been like so many backlashes. That was the best cast I've had so far, and I did not get hurt. So as you can tell, it's not the best of casting reels. I mean, the casting accuracy isn't what you would call ideal, and the distance is probably bad. Yeah, that's pretty much how this reel feels to cast. And the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure they made overhead models of this reel as well. I'm not sure if anyone knows anything about that. Please, like, tell me something about it. But I reckon this reel would be easier to cast like this. Just watch me for a second. Oops a daisy, we hit the roof. But I think I've displayed how much easier it is to cast the other way. Why weren't they designed like that? Like, I mean, honestly, this would be such an amazing overhead. Okay, alright. Oh, I'm letting out line. Never mind. Oh no. I've hooked the roof. Got it.
I'm going to attempt to get Ronnie's hooks and sinkers down because we were too lazy to actually set up this reel with the actual setup. So what we've got is 2 hooks connected to each other and a bag of sinkers. Don't pull, the hooks will get me. Those 2 big hooks are scary.
I know.
You don't want one of them in your hand.
Alright, right now, this is bird's eye view of how you actually casting this reel.
Again.
As you can tell, the casting accuracy is really bad.
Oh, you lost the bag of sinkers.
So this test is about comfort and ergonomics of this reel. I'm looking at it. It's pretty heavy. It's also very nice, I think. And yeah, like the handles are nice. They're pretty smooth. The reel's actually pretty smooth. It's surprisingly smooth considering it's actually got no ball bearings in it at all. It's actually a really nice reel to use. Yeah. The only bad part is it is fairly heavy. But yeah, I think that test is pretty much done. Next test though is well, it's gonna be drag. Here's the problem. This reel does not have a drag. The drag is me. I'm just gonna demonstrate how this works. So this reel doesn't actually have an anti-reverse. And as you can see, the spool actually spins. That's how you get line. So I'm just gonna, like, you know, walk backwards. Now that's the drag in action. So as you can see, I'm winding backwards, letting the fish take line. So I'm the drag. So you want to keep tension at all times. And how you actually apply drag is you put your palm on the bottom of this reel, and then you're like that. Then you're gonna be like that. And as the fish takes line, you're just gonna, you know, have your it's gonna be like that. You're gonna be like that. But this is the problem. Let's say a big fish, let's say a massive shark, just starts to run. And you're just winding along, having the jolly day of your life, and suddenly it just starts running. And you're like, what? No. And your hands, not expecting the run, are gonna get, the knuckles are gonna get hit by those things, and you're gonna be like bruised knuckles and bruised palms, bruised fingers, and whatever bruised, and you're gonna be like, what, and you'll have bruised hands. You have to like put that there, friction burns, and it's not gonna be fun. That's the problem with a sidecast reel. There is no drag. The only sidecast reels that have a drag are the modern day ones, which some of them are pretty darn expensive. Now, for the most important test, let's see how it fishes.